Hey, my beautiful followers. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing? It is a sleepy kind of day today, at least for me. It is Friday, but it is definitely just feels like a sleepy kind of day. Maybe that's just because I'm sleepy. I was up late last night, or actually went to bed early this morning after having some beautiful conversation with someone in my life and just really getting to know this other person at a deeper level, because I don't know him at a deeper level. I know him, but I don't know him at a deeper level. So just doing some sharing and laughter and listening to some music and really just connecting. And the topic of boxes came up. The boxes that we have throughout our relationships, the boxes we choose, the boxes that other people put us in their minds. And it was an interesting topic because I had a client, I think it was yesterday, may have been the day before, but messaged me saying, Addison, and he was talking about his wife, she just won't let me change. She doesn't see my growth. She doesn't see my expansion. She doesn't see that I've changed. I've developed. I've expanded. She's still got me in this box. And he was sharing all of this with me, and I was like, that happens in relationships, especially the longer term relationships. When we meet people, we start to, from a natural human standpoint, we start to put them in these boxes. We start to go, okay, this person is like this, and they're like this, and they're like this. Well, the problem being that might work, and that those might be appropriate-ish labels at the very beginning of a relationship. But as a relationship develops, and I'm talking any relationship truthfully here, people change, people grow, people expand. You learn different dynamics into other individuals. And oftentimes, unless we are consciously making a decision to tune into someone's growth and really see their expansion and really see them changing and making a conscious effort of seeing someone changing, they stay stuck in our mind. They stay in a box. I see this with my couples all the time that have been married or together since high school. And they're like, no, but he or she is like this. And I'm like, I've met this person recently, and this is actually how I'm perceiving them. This is how I see them. And really it comes down to a lack of letting that other person grow in your mind. Letting that other person grow in your mind. I think many of us know this. Many of us know that we put people in boxes, and we can get all spiritual and be like, no, I don't judge, I don't put it, but that's bullshit. It's bullshit. It is a normal brain process to try to put things in our life into order, into some form of order. We do it from the time we're born. This is why kids will look at different animals and go, cat, and they're like, dog, and they have to take that information and put it into a box. They have to be like, okay, so this is the cat box, this is the dog box, this is the bird box, and they try to make order out of their worlds. Well, yes, we do this as babies, but we do this as we get older, and we do this in our relationships. But the problem being that if we don't look at those boxes, if we don't really open them up and go, does this fit anymore? Does this fit anymore? We end up doing a disservice to the relationship, and a lot of times we end up ruining the relationship, or we end up thinking about somebody in a way that's no longer fitting them. Sometimes in the positive. So we do this with our relationship to self. I'm struggling to talk today. I'm owning that. I'm like blah blah blah. I obviously have not had enough coffee, but we do this in our relationship with self as well. So we put ourselves in boxes. We go, oh, I'm like this, I'm like this, I'm like this. We focus in on these boxes within our own psyche, and oftentimes we don't fit into those boxes anymore. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an example, because about 5 years ago, there was a point where I went, I'm really good at holding space. And then about a year later, things flipped, and I was going through some stuff. I was going through some of my own shit, and I had a moment of not being really good at holding space. I had probably a year and a half of like not holding good space for others, really having to be very self-focused, and I was just not holding space as well. And I had to look at that box and go, I keep saying this, I keep putting myself in that box, but right now I don't fit that box. That's actually this box that it's what I would call an ideal box. It's a box that I know is within me, but right now doesn't fit. Right now doesn't fit me. And then I got back in the box. I feel like I hold really good space still, but it is this process of like looking at where you're putting others in boxes, but also where you're putting yourself in a box. Where are you not allowing yourself to grow, or see where you have changed, and where at one point maybe this was your box. And I hear this a lot with like people, like they're like, oh, I'm an introvert, and I'm like, are you sure you're an introvert? Because you don't come across as an introvert. You're saying you're an introvert, but this is not really your box anymore. This is an old box. This is an old belief system. This is an old paradigm of your life, and it's no longer true. And we tend to do this with ourselves, and then in our relationships. If we don't make a conscious choice of looking at our own boxes that we're putting ourselves in, that we're going, no, these are my boxes, or the boxes we're putting others in, that if we don't really consciously look at them, then we can't change them. We can't grow them. We can't expand them. We can't let that other person just be who they need to be. We can't really love that other person too, because if we're not willing to let them grow, if we're not willing to see their changes, and oftentimes changes happen slowly as humans. Yes, we have these moments when shit changes like that. I believe that. Law of attraction can change your life like that. Life can change like that. Like, there's so much that can change overnight. But most of our growth, most of our expansion, most of our significant change that lasts, it happens over time. And if you're not willing to see that change, allow that person to maybe be between boxes. Maybe go, okay, yeah, they were in this box, and I see them moving towards this box, but they're really in neither box. They're in this like middle ground box of transformation. If you're not willing to see that, then you're not really loving on that other person. You're not allowing that person to have their growth process, their transformation, their moment of change. And so you can't love that person. If you're putting them in, if you're not willing to truly see who they are today, who they're trying to be, then in truth, you're not sending loving energy. And the same thing goes for self. If you're not willing to own where you're currently at, where you're transforming, where you might be in between a box, and love that, whether that's a box you perceive as good, a box you perceive as negative, but just really owning where you're at, And I'm using the metaphor of boxes, but truthfully, it's about trying to be in the here and the now with self, trying to be in the here and the now with those we love, and seeing them in the current light. And yes, maybe remembering our past. Yes, maybe having beautiful memories with this person from the past, but making the beautiful memories now, making those moments important now, seeing and loving that person and yourself right now. Not yesterday, not for who you're going to be tomorrow, right now. Who that person is right in this moment. And it's interesting, this friend I was talking to last night was telling me, he's like, if I can look at somebody, and I think this is beautiful, if I can look at somebody and go, if there was only this person in the world, would it be a beautiful world? Now, I'm not talking about like, there's dynamics, but is this person, so if there's only Addison Bells in the world, would the world be a good place? Would it be evil and dark? And I'm like, yeah, there'd be pieces because I have my shadow. Or but there would also be some beautiful love and light and connection in the world because I'm a loving, connected person. If you can think of your partner and you go, if there was only my partner in the world, that's all that there was, would there be more love or would there be less love? And that's a beautiful way when you're angry at somebody or struggling with somebody to really look at them, to really get present with them. It's a beginning step. You need to go further than that. That's too surface level. You need to go further. But it's a way to connect with somebody in who they are right now, who they are right in this moment in time. Because I can promise you, a relationship will dwindle if you're not willing to let that person grow. A relationship will die. One or both people will start to really disconnect if they're not willing to see that other person for where they are and break down the boxes, because none of us want to be in a box. None of us fit perfectly in a box. We're all messy. It's the beauty of being human. We're all freaking messy. So none of us really fit in any box. And so see the transformation, see the change, see those in-between boxes that we create. And see that within yourself. So I'm actually challenging, and this is a strong challenge. I know I give lots of journaling and on these, and I give you guys challenges, but I really want you to do this one. I want you to write about yourself, and I want you to pick 2 people you are closest with, some of your inner circle. And I want you to journal on where you're keeping yourself in a box and where you're keeping these other 2, or if you want to go crazy, do 3 people. I'm only saying 2. These other 2 or 3 people in a box. Where are you holding them? Where are you not letting them grow? Where can you, in your journaling, really give them credit for the work they're doing and the transformation they're making? And where can you give yourself that same credit? So do that journaling. I think it will be powerful and really shift things in a relationship that might be struggling. Or just bring more love to a relationship that there's already love. So on a different note, if you are in the DFW area, and this is going to be the only workshop I announced today, even though I have lots going on my events page, addisonbell.net/events. Though the one I want to really focus in on today is my March 28th Oral Intimacies Workshop with Kendall Williams. You can find the link below in the comment section after I get off this video, or on my profile page. You can also find it on my events tab again. It's going to be in a beautiful workshop. This workshop always sells out. It's our annual oral sex workshop. It's about bringing more intimacy into your relationship. It's about bringing more connection. It's about being present with your partner and making oral sex one of the most vulnerable and pleasurable pieces. Really getting some depth in this kind of sexing. Really finding that depth. And it is for men, women, couples, singles. It doesn't matter. Come, enjoy, let's have some play. It is PG-13 for language. There will be no nudity, but we are going to do we're going to teach some techniques. We're going to practice some things, not on another human being, but we are going to practice some things. We're going to have fun. I love this workshop. It's just a playful, fun, but so educational. So join me if you're in the DFW area, if you're coming to the DFW area. We always have people from out of town come in. So join us. So you can find that at my events page. So, all right, guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. Bye, y'all.